There are two covenants in this world. Before Adam fell, it was a covenant works, which means that you do good, you go to heaven. If you disobey, you go to hell. You'll be doomed. And that's what happened to Adam and Eve, because he chose to disobey God, and he caused pain to himself and all his posterior, which includes us today. Now, if Adam had obeyed and not taken this only one thing he can do. He can do everything else. Can you imagine what a free world that is? And one thing he cannot cope with himself. If he could only hold on to it, not to eat that fruit, he would have eternal life. We would have no problems today. Now, after he screwed out such a big time, Matthew 5:17 says, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them." So Jesus said, I have come to fulfill the law, not to abolish the law. Whatever required under covenant works that Adam failed, Jesus didn't abolish those laws. Those laws are continuing operation to our day, that thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt love the God with all your heart, and all this. They continue. And we all fail. No one can keep up with the 10 Commandments. Frankly and honestly. But only one guy did it, living on earth. And that's Jesus. Jesus Christ, a son of Mary, son of a Jewish carpenter Joseph. 2,000 years ago in the land of Israel, he lived a perfect life for 33 years on earth until he was killed. He fulfilled all the requirements of God, the covenant works. He perfectly obeyed God, and there's no flaw in him. Even he was mocked, he was ridiculed, he was tempted. Well, the fact of the matter, the reality is that he's actually God himself. That's the secret, right? His God became man. The incarnation that caused him was able, that he has a supreme obedience to God the Father. Don't, it's a mystery, but I can tell this. He struggled. Jesus struggled. There are verses in Hebrews that he cried out with loud cries to God the Father to spare him of the death coming. In fact, the last one, God in Gethsemane, he cried so hard that he was dropping blood with sweat combined, which is medically, there's a term to it, which is a man in such intense anxiety and struggle, anguish, that's the word, anguish, that blood came through the blood vessels, into the sweat gland and came out as a combo of sweat and blood. Don't tell me Jesus did struggle. Jesus struggled tremendously, but he did it. He put it off. That's what he did. He said, I have come not to abolish the law, but to fulfill them. Jesus not only satisfied the righteous requirements of God, he fulfilled them. And then he go ahead and die for humanity. And that's the kind of man we worship. And that's the kind of God we worship. And that's the kind of hero that we have. And because of that, he was qualified to go to the cross. Not anybody just flippantly go to the cross and die for the world, because he himself is a sinner. I can't go to the cross and die for you all, because I'm a sinner just like you. You can't do it either. You are a sinner just as much as I am. Every one of us is a sinner. The only one even qualified to bleed and to be whipped and to be nailed to the cross, all this, is Jesus Christ, the God-man. Listen to him.